Welcome to your week. It's Tuesday. That means one day of your week's already done with Labor Day, but we're starting it off strong. We've got a jam-packed show for you. We are doing Pop Culture Monday on Tuesday again. Joining us, as always, straight off a flight from Charleston is the host of the podcast So True with Sophie Ross that comes back in September. Of course, you've read her Substack as well, or you might be one of her super followers on Twitter. But we are here to talk trash about some of the pop culture items that have been going around this week. Sophie Ross, welcome back to the show. Do you see, wait, Sophie, do you see where I'm at right now?
Oh, you're in the Sir Alley.
I'm in the Sir. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am recording live from the Sir alleyway right now, which is very exciting.
Wait, the way I didn't even notice because I know you just moved and I was like, oh, that's just like his new office setup.
I love it. Hey, he made his office setup look like a back alleyway too. And that's sad because that would be my man cave. Could you make it look like the Sir out? Could you make it look like Kristen Doty's been smoking 3 packs of Marlboro Lights out here?
But like you would. So
no, I told no. I mean, listen, you're dead right. I mean, you told me some news because you were away again this weekend. You had a family vacay this entire week, and you said you flew out of Charleston this morning and you ran into who did you run into?
I didn't run into him. I saw him. I didn't say hi. Greg Grippo.
I would hope you wouldn't say hi.
No, I did not say hi.
You are not a Greg Grippo fan.
I know. It's so ironic that I saw him right after writing my Substack about him. I actually snapped a picture shamelessly. But yeah. So that's if you're watching YouTube, you can see the picture I snapped of him. But yeah, I was in Charleston. I actually was at Isle of Palms with my family during the week. And that's actually where Shep has his house. So we drove by Shep's house. It was funny. We were driving on that road anyway. And then my sister was like, wait, let me look up Shep's address. You can just Google it. And
I always wonder if they show the actual facade of his house or if that's a fake house.
No, that's actually his house. And we were driving on that road anyway. It's like a strip of land. So it's one road basically. And we were 4 minutes until Shep's house. Oh my God, this is perfect. And we drove by and his Audi.
Was Taylor bringing in groceries and stuff?
I wish. No, we saw his Audi and we were like, where's little Craig? Yeah, but then we went into the city of Charleston with my boyfriend for the weekend. And that was really nice. We did some exploring. I wanted to walk by Patricia's house. But we didn't get a chance to do that. We did go to Sewing Down South though, but Craig wasn't there.
What was it like? Somebody else had visited recently and said it was very sparse. And it's they needed more inventory.
It was it was funny because we were walking and it's right across the street from Republic, which is Leva's bar.
Yeah. That's going to be the new Vanderpump Rules, you guys, because they are making a show at Leva's bar with bartenders and waitresses and stuff at Republic.
And they're directly across the street. And we were walking by on our way to dinner one night. And I was like, oh, this store looks cute. And then I was like, Sewing Down South?
Well, you were not that aware at all that you were this store is cute and you thought it was a Pier 1 Imports or something?
There are so many cute little shops and boutiques on King Street. So many. I don't know if you've been in Charleston, but we walked in so many cute little shops. Actually, this one place that we went, I do not remember the name, but it's a honey store. So it's all honey stuff. And they have mead tasting. So if you know mead,
I love mead.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones. It's so good. It's the first alcohol that's ever been discovered. And we actually bought a bottle of it to bring back.
Does it mess you up?
Yeah, I mean it's a high alcohol content, doesn't taste like alcohol. It's so good.
God, I wish they made more things like mead these days.
Well, I was like, why aren't we taking shots of mead instead of disgusting tequila and vodka? Why aren't we drinking? Let's normalize mead.
Make it fun again. Yeah. By the way, make drinking fun again and not. Hey, let's get away from all these Truly and all that kind of BS. Let's get back to mead.
Yeah, seriously. I want a pint of mead. Fill me up.
Let's go to Punta Mita and drink mead. It's me, PK. Hey, speaking of real quick, I know we're going to go all over the map here, but real quick, do you think I should be offended or we should be offended that we weren't given a cease and desist by Diana Jenkins or her law team?
Honestly, yeah.
I do. Yeah. I feel like I'm not one of the cool kids. And I feel like
I feel left out.
I mean, we've talked we've always said allegedly, but I feel like we should have been on that watch list as well.
Oh, 100%. We should have gotten assist and deceased.
Assist and deceased. Yeah. And I feel like, that makes me thirsty. So be it. But it just feels like always a bridesmaid, never a bride with this thing, like
No,
Diana doesn't even know
exactly.
who we exist.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, do I even exist if I didn't get
But what if
assist
she's
and
like, I
deceased?
think Sophie and Ryan very funny, so I'm not offended by them.
Yeah, maybe she's just like a listener and she likes us, so she's
Oh yeah,
fair
or
enough.
maybe Asher is a fan, and Asher's like, babe, do not do that to them.
No, he's like, babe.
He's like,
He's like, I
bam,
like them.
bam, 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 bam. Okay.
Like
The
Ryan's hot.
Ryan, like his mustache is killing it. Hey girl, get away from my music stand. That's him to Erica Jane. Okay, so the big news story today on a Monday, you wake up and you think it's like Labor Day, but overseas, over in this Italy, this Venice, they have the Venice Film Festival, but this has been going on this past couple of days. Huge news out of there. The Darren Aronofsky movie, The Whale, with Brendan Fraser, where he plays a 600-pound man. He got one of the most beautiful standing ovations. And if you've read anything about Brendan Fraser's career, you will realize like how emotional that is. He seems like such a good-hearted dude. And this film's supposed to be amazing. That's great. But then today we had the Don't Worry, Darling red carpet premiere movie thing, press like junket. And the whole big news with this, you guys, is Florence Pugh said she would walk the red carpet, but she would not participate in the Q&A. And there were pictures of them on the red carpet. Harry Styles supposedly dating Olivia Wilde, even though they are not acknowledging each other or standing next to each other. And Florence Pugh is not acknowledging Harry Styles or Olivia Wilde, the director. What are your thoughts on all of this?
First of all, did you see the clip of, I don't even know what the question was. I just saw the clip of Harry going around of him answering a question.
He goes, a movie. He goes, what do you like? He goes, I like about it. It's like a movie, like a real movie where it's like a big movie. And
Yeah.
and Chris Pine is looking like disassociating completely.
His soul wanted to leave his body. Yeah. He's like, what I like about this movie is that it's a movie. It's,
Yeah.
one of those movies. It's a film that makes you want to go to the movies. And Chris Pine is like, oh my God.
Yeah, by the way,
Like,
the only
so
person
funny
that can make
Harry
me.
Styles is just discovering what acting is.
Well, also Harry Styles, dude, Harry Styles, don't even try to attempt talking about movies after what Nicole Kidman has done for movies with AMC. That's the only person I want to talk about being at a movie theater is Nicole Kidman. Like we
Heartbreak
come
feels
to this,
good in a place like
yes,
that.
but like Harry Styles isn't used to being made fun of either. So I have a feeling this is going to dent his ego a little bit because there is nonstop Harry love and there still is, but this is the first like chink where people have made fun of him for something.
Oh yeah. Well, he's been just getting a lot of hate in general the past like few weeks over all of this drama with Don't Worry, Darling. And yeah, it's also apparently okay. So you could see that Florence was like not acknowledging Olivia at all. Like, there's definitely truth to, like, a lot of this stuff going on. All of these
without
rumors.
a doubt.
The movie also isn't getting great reviews.
Yeah, you guys already from 18 reviews, it's now at a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's from 18 reviewers. That's, not audience score at all. So that'll come out when the movie gets released in a week or so. But yeah, it says the drama behind the scenes, and this actually relates to Housewives a lot. And what we say about the Housewives is the drama behind the scenes is eclipsing actually what's on the screen. And that's what the Los Angeles Times said in their review. I'm going to go see it. I'm excited to see it regardless, but I've got no skin in the game. So it looks like just one of those kind of, movies about like men doing badly behind the scenes, which is like the plot of real life right now. But why do we always pit two women? This is my question to you. Like Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde. Olivia Wilde, there's not a lot of female directors directing at this level in terms of a blockbuster Warner Brothers film. Why do we always pit these women together? Or do you think they did this to themselves and Olivia truly did do something to Florence? I mean, we saw the video with Shia LaBeouf, which there seems to be some kind of like Shia come back. Miss Flo is just being Miss Flo and kind of bad mouthing Florence Pugh.
Well, it's just our culture of misogyny and even internalized misogyny, where I see a lot of women just like being thrilled to attack Olivia Wilde. And she's also been getting tormented by Harry Styles fans for months now. And yeah, I'm not even seeing a lot of support for like FKA twigs. Like people are like, Olivia wanted to bring, first of all, that video that she made where she was like Miss Flo, that was before. And I think we talked about this.
We talked about it a little bit last week. Yeah. Cause there was a whole
Yeah.
video, you guys, of her in the car driving. And this was before the movie had even started filming. And there was this rumor or Olivia said that's why Shia was not in the movie. And Shia was like, no, I quit your movie. Supposedly it was over rehearsals or whatever. And this was a director, like any director would do, of like, yo, we can work this out. We can do this. But she did say Miss Flo kind of
patronizingly.
Yeah, kind of patronizing, saying like she might be somewhat of a diva. So that, of course, didn't look good when Olivia said all this other stuff on top of. Isn't it weird that the Jason Sudeikis stuff even kind of blew up further in this past couple of weeks, because Olivia won't talk about Harry Styles or Florence Pugh, but she will talk about Jason Sudeikis and their custody battle.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of people coming to defend FKA twigs.
Which, by the way, is Shia LaBeouf's ex-girlfriend that there was a lawsuit against, or there was,
Yeah. And so it's like, how much of this is about like standing up against male abusers versus like, you are literally just thrilled to attack a woman at all costs. And yeah, Olivia definitely, from what I've seen, probably hasn't handled a lot of this in the best way. Like I wish that she would, I almost wish that she would come out and like clear the air a little bit instead of like letting the rumor mill and all of this. Like I wish that she would kind of clear the air with some of this stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what to think in terms of like, is Olivia the bad guy or the good guy here? It's probably somewhere in between. I think it's probably more nuanced than that. But yeah, it's sad to watch everyone tear her down so gleefully, because it's like, yeah, she is one of these women directors that we should be supporting and we should be cheering on. And instead it's like this moment has become all about the drama.
And looking for clues about what she's done wrong. And then I saw a rumor today that, Harry had hooked up with Florence before Olivia, and that's why Florence is upset. And I'm like, come on, guys, do we have to, I mean, that might be true, but do we have to immediately sexualize everything?
Wait, but I actually did hear that. I actually did hear that.
Greg Grippo said that at the Charleston airport today.
No, but I actually did hear that from someone I trust. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I also think that that could lend credence to some of the tension. I don't know, but that is what I heard, and I didn't want to say it. And so I'm glad you brought it up.
I'll say it.
Yeah, I'll say it. Mention it all. That Florence and Harry were hooking up before Harry and Olivia started, and that caused tension because Florence, and she was cheating on Zach Braff, so it couldn't have come out then. Like that would have been bad.
And Olivia was cheating on Sudeikis, allegedly.
Well, Olivia and Sudeikis, I think their marriage had been over for some time, which is also what I heard, which again, it like paints everything in a different light when you realize that Jason and Olivia were over. Florence and Harry were hooking up before Olivia. Like it really, like, you have to take all of these factors into consideration, but the general public is just seeing, what the general public is seeing. So it's like, yeah, of course this picture is being painted of Olivia as this big bad adulteress who was like, kind of bullying the actress that she was supposed to be supporting and all of these things, when I think that there was a lot more going on behind the scenes. So,
but then once again, I mean, we watch Housewives and Bravo, so everything kind of leads back to there. I feel like it's like, if that were to be true, of that rumor of like Florence and Harry and then Harry and Olivia, I would like to relate it on the only difference is height here is an Austin Kroll kind of situation. Is why are we pointing the fingers at any of these ladies, and why don't we point the finger straight at this Mr. Styles and going, why are you fucking with your co-star and your director? It's like, and this guy isn't even 6'4", 6'5" like Austin Kroll is. I love his music. I'm a Harry fan, but come on, why are we all, we're once again, even with this, we're saying like, well, these women both slept with this dude, when it's like, this dude seems like he just came in and laid havoc to this set. Sorry, true. Harry fans.
No, that's true. That's true. But that's how our society is. It's always about the women wrongdoers and never about the man. And yeah, what else? Wait, there's something else that reminded me of that too. About,
by the way, Olivia guys did
Southern Charm, how the Paige and Naomi thing, where everyone
Craig set that up.
Craig is clearly telling Paige that Naomi is like still in love with him and wants to get back together. Like, why are we not blaming Craig in this situation?
Well,
Like, that's like the same thing.
Did you watch Southern Charm this week?
Yeah.
Listen, I got to tell you, like when Naomi pulled Paige aside, there is like, I literally got scared when Paige just was sitting there, just sipping her drink while Naomi was kind of tripping over her words, which is hard because Naomi usually is sort of well-spoken, but it seems like she's in her flop era between this and hooking up with Whitney. But like Paige really, she must be like her ego must be filled right now because she's kind of killing it in the scenes on Southern. Like she is like breezing through this season easily. Like Naomi's almost scared of her at this point. She's always says her little joke. Well, please, why do you disagree?
Paige looks like a clown. She's like, everyone here is pastel beige.
Oh yeah, I'm a basic Betty.
Like, I want to just wear black. And it's like, Paige, since when are you like this goth, like chic New Yorker? You're not. You wear like pastel Zara sets all the freaking time. Like, I feel like she's playing up like her New Yorker thing, and it's so embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
And then she keeps showing up to these events wearing like the most embarrassing outfits. Like she doesn't get how people dress in Charleston. And she's like trying really hard. I don't know. She's like pissing me off.
To be fair, I don't even know if Catherine knows how people dress in Charleston. Did you see that little number with the pink and the, I'm an old Navy man, but it just seemed a little off to me. Was that considered fashion?
That's Catherine. I feel like that's just, and Catherine doesn't claim to be a fashionista. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the Paige scenes are so like manufactured and fake and just like annoying. And she's putting on this like New Yorker role.
Well, but she's playing cool girl.
I disagree. I can admit
I'm saying she's playing cool girl, and I think it works with them.
She's trying to play a cool girl, and it's not working for the audience. Maybe for the cast members.
See, that's what I'm saying. Audience, not the cast member. The cast members buy it completely.
But like, yeah, and I can admit that I'm biased because I'm not a Paige fan after her summer house shenanigans. So yeah, I'm glad she's standing upright for once.
But you can tell it takes a lot out of her. Paige, as we always say, does her best work horizontally, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean literally just sleeping and laying there on her phone. Yeah. I also saw, I would imagine this is probably one of the last weekends that they're filming Summer House. And I saw photos of the new cast members, and Craig seems like he's been there every weekend. And we did a story a couple of weeks ago about People Magazine. Craig dropped 20 pounds and he press released it. And I did see a photo of Craig with his shirt off, and he looks great. I'm so proud of that man. Very inspiring. But I do have a feeling Craig is a full-time cast member of Summer House now too.
Oh God. I don't know how much more I can take of those two. I really don't. They're little baby voices. Babe?
Hey, babe. Babe, I like doing weird things with you, like going shopping and like getting gas and stuff. Like
the grocery store.
I can't wait till they're with each other all the time, where that little shit wears off real quick, where it's like, get in the Rite Aid, get me my tampons, and let's get out of here. He's like, babe, let's have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And also there was something really weird. I got to tell you, not erotic in any sense, but like something weird with Paige pulling out the innards of the turkey. And it made me think that like Paige wears the pants sexually in that family, if you know what I mean, with Craig. Like she put her hand immediately in that turkey, and and with no bones about it. And I just think that like, and Craig, I think Craig's more like a Harry Styles kind of dude, that he's up for any, like, I know that's a crazy thing that I'm saying, but didn't anybody realize like he was kind of squeamish, and she was like, let me get right in there,
I mean, good for them. Good for them. But yeah, if I'm with a guy who like I have a weird thing about cooking raw meat, but like that's allowed for me. Yeah. That's not allowed for my man. If he got grossed out by cooking raw meat, like, no, absolutely not.
Craig, by the way, you guys, Southern Charm's so stupid. Craig had a talking head where he talked about the time why he is scared of raw meat, and it was something like some kind of cook-off where 130 people died because it was cross contamination.
Yeah, they said that. They had like raw turkeys in these like containers, and then they cooked them, and then they put them back in the containers with the raw turkey. Like, why would they do that? First of all, and he was like 140 people like went to the hospital.
And I was like, I want a fucking documentary about this. Like, why? I don't give a fuck about Friendsgiving. I want to know more about the 130 people that got cross-contaminated because Craig didn't wash his hands right, you know?
I want to know the backstory of like the people that were like, yeah, let's just put the cooked turkey back in the raw meat juice. That's gonna end well.
And Craig goes, and I saw him use the same balls as the thing. And then we just act like he didn't tell this story about all of these people just getting violently ill. It's the guys. I don't know. Southern Charm is the weirdest show, and I love it so much. It's so weird though. And then like there was even a scene with Whitney and Patricia. Like Whitney was only in one scene because he had to go to Texas, but he's sitting there like eating brie and drinking wine with his mom, and like they're cutting between like Naomi talking to her mom about like, you know what, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and then they cut back to Whitney, and no offense to Whitney, but he's like me, he's like a bump on a log eating a block of brie with his mom, you know.
I know, and for me, I'm like, I don't know why Patricia even needs. I know that they want her to be kind of like the Lisa Vanderpump of Southern Charm, but it's like, that's her one scene of the show, of the episode, where she's like, paper napkins, you know better than that.
Yeah, paper Whitney, paper napkins. Oh, I taught you better than that. I'll say, by the way, Patricia did meet Sutton like a couple months ago, which I would love to have seen that meeting. Also, just to go back, that don't worry, darling. The only thing Olivia Wilde did say in regards to the rumors is that she says, quote, that the internet can have their fun with that, and they seem like they're doing a good enough job creating that I don't need to feed that fuel at all.
Yeah.
But it got a 4-minute standing ovation also at Venice. This is another thing. You always read about these film festivals, like The Whale, that other one got like a 6 or 8 minute standing ovation. Have you ever stood ovation wise for like, I think mine like 30-second tops. I would be so annoyed if I saw a movie and then had to stand up for 8 minutes clapping afterwards.
Right. That's like exclusively a film festival thing.
Right. Yeah, it totally is.
Do people do that in theaters? Like, can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, like maybe Star Wars for some of those geeks, but like, there's no way. I've seen people stand up after the Nicole Kidman AMC thing, and that's not a joke. I went and saw that new Scream movie months and months ago, and they had that AMC thing. The whole audience stood up after the Nicole. It was kind of actually very inspiring, but in a
place like this,
it does. Movies are amazing, even though I don't think we're long for movies the way that streaming and all that seems to be going. Okay, moving on to it's been a really weird week. First off, The Weeknd did his stadium concert in Los Angeles this past Saturday, and he had to stop 3 songs in because he said his voice gave out. And this is a stadium show. You're like 80,000 people, Los Angeles. The stars are out, and you have to cancel 3 songs in because he said he couldn't give the show that he wanted to go, that everybody would get refunds. I mean, just insurance and money alone, that has just got to be horrible. Do you think like on something like that, somebody needs to push through? Like, can you even imagine the horror?
It seems like his voice, I saw a video and it seems like his voice actually did go out. And I think The Weeknd is one of those artists that like genuinely really does care about his fans and putting on a performance. So like, I don't think anyone should push themselves. That goes for like any career, whether you're an athlete or like whoever it is. Like, if you can't do it, you can't do it. Take care of yourself, boo.
I mean, the only thing though, thinking of like, if you had known even beforehand, like that's the only thing of like to do it on stage is wild. I was saying that
everyone needs a refund. That's how
and I don't think that's going to even be an issue. Like I was saying, that happened to me once at the Forum in Los Angeles back when Kanye did the Life of Pablo tour, that one on the lighted stage. I was there on one of the nights where he said his voice went out, but it was like 3 or 4 shows before he had a full mental breakdown. And we were like 3 or 4, I was on the floor of the Forum, and the lighting stage, just like he would be on it and it would just move and the crowd would move. It was like really scary. And all of a sudden he goes, I can't do this. I got to stop. I can't do this anymore. My voice is not going to do this. Everybody will get refunds, go home. And I was like, I thought it was going to be like a stampede because it was really scary all of a sudden because there's no seats. Everybody's just following this lighted stage. and by the way, everybody got refunds pretty much. I think it was like the next day. So that wasn't an issue, but I just can't imagine at a stadium show like that, the pressure you have to feel. And then to like, I mean, that's just gotta be, I mean, good for him for saying that, but you think about like the normal person, pays for a babysitter, goes to pay $40 for parking at like so much goes into even just getting out there. That's like, I just can't imagine what he must feel like.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, it definitely sucks for the audience members. It sucks for him. But it happens, it's like, what can you do?
I would have gotten up there on a mic and said, let's keep this party going. Like,
Yeah, that's what I would have.
Yeah, that's what you would.
I'm off the deep end.
Hey, anybody want to do A Star Is Born with me?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. This is actually nice news. Beyonce turned 41. Zendaya turned 26. Happy birthdays to them. Now to some sadder news. Kanye is on Instagram again.
Oh, God.
And also, if you want to kind of, this would be interesting. I always thought like, I wonder if Sophie will write about this. The differences between Kanye's Instagram and Britney's Instagram. And in terms of how we treat both of them, both have like mental issues that they talk openly about. But this week, Britney is very sad, because they did a 60 Minutes Australia piece, Kevin Federline and her sons, or at least Jaden spoke, the other son didn't. And Britney had a really hard time with that. And even today, or I think it was yesterday or today, did a 2.5-minute voice note on her Instagram, pretty much to her son, kind of saying how disappointed she was. And because Jaden had said she doesn't think that Britney's dad is a bad guy, was just trying to help her. Did you follow any of this?
Yeah, I was following it. And I think it's apples and oranges when it comes to Kanye and Britney. Like, I just don't think it's necessary to compare them. I think the Britney situation is, I can understand this Jaden wanting to defend his father. I can understand that. Yeah, I think it's a complicated issue. I think that Britney, I don't know if social media is the best for her.
Even though she did make, the voice note did make sense to me. It's just that, would you do that to your child, even being the adult? That would be the question. Do you sacrifice? I don't know. It's like, I keep thinking about it.
No, I know it's tough. I think that, I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's tough. I think that the difference between her and Kanye mainly is that Kanye like exclusively uses social media to lash out at people. And like, I feel like Britney is more so speaking her own truth.
Yes. And
Kanye is kind of always just lashing out and trying to like make other people's lives hell.
As almost like a ploy for business in a way. Like, that's what I meant in comparison is that they're both talking about their kids, but Britney, I understand, it seems like very hurt, whereas Kanye almost throws out his kids in terms of like
he like weaponizes them.
Exactly. In terms of, well, this is like Kim did this and I'm not going to let my kids do porn, and Adidas and Gap. You better let me in. I'm all about my kids now. I'm all about Adidas and I'm all about Gap. And I'm like, you know what? You should have just said you're all about your kids and that's it. You bring in the two business things in there. Kanye's always professing to want to be the father that he couldn't even physically be, just because he's in 8 billion places at once trying to do all of these things. But it seems like he weaponizes, whereas Britney, you actually sense this true hurt.
Exactly. There you go.
So why, I just get so frustrated, is that like Kanye screams and yells until he gets his way, but then Britney, I feel like that's what I just get frustrated, because sometimes I feel like then we almost discount Britney's feelings and emotions of go like, well, I don't know if that's like, because you can sense it comes from a true place, but Kanye just keeps screaming until we just bow down and go, okay, man, do whatever you want.
People are always going to defend whatever Kanye does. It's like, he will always get defended. He could murder someone and get defended by the internet. Like, it's just how it is. He is just always getting excuses made for him. And and people think he's funny. Like, people look at him as entertainment. They think it's funny. They think it's hilarious. Whereas with Britney, they're like, "Ooh, that's sad." So it's like, I don't know.
Kanye, in one of his things this week, he did one of those newspaper headlines like he did with like Skeet Davidson, dead at. he did it of the president of Adidas saying like, dead at 80 or some shit like that. And then in the very small print says, and Kid Cudi as well, but nobody knows who he is. So in one failed Instagram post, he literally like says something about the death of the whole president of Adidas, which Yeezys are distributed through. And then also on top of that, throws in a small joke about Kid Cudi, who has also talked about, being, mentally unhealthy at times, thought about killing himself, all of this stuff. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I feel like that, but that's business these days. Like, that's like a power move.
It makes no sense, but he gets attention from it. People are entertained, and it's just his shtick. So yeah, it is. It's just people are feeding into it.
On a lighter note, have you seen this Elvis movie?
No, but my mom said she thought Austin Butler did a good job. My dad said he didn't think he did a good job. And all I kept thinking of was when he was like, oh, thanks for coming out to see the movie. I appreciate all the support.
Well, everybody's seen this movie. It makes me feel real good and deep inside. Yeah. No, so you guys, it's streaming on HBO Max. Baz Luhrmann, Moonlight, really. So I watch it. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I wanted to see it in the theater and I didn't get to, so I'm watching this. I think Austin Butler, amazing job. That confident of a performance from somebody that I'm not that really well aware of Austin Butler. But the real mess of this movie is Mr. Thomas Hanks. Like this guy, he plays the Colonel, who's a real life. And I went and then watched Colonel clips of the real Colonel because the accent Tom Hanks uses, which is, he's like, my dear boy, come here, Mr. Black. Well, you want to be a Elvis? I'm your snowman. It's like the weirdest voice
I've to be. Like, what is his accent in real life?
They don't. It sounded foreign at times, and he couldn't pronounce his W. So he'd be like, "My boy, we got a member." I'm trying to think of the right line to do it with, but it was one of those things where it was so bad where I thought I was doing one of my Beverly Hills accents, where I was like. And Austin Butler is killing it. And Tom Hanks is one of the best actors there is. And I just kept thinking like, no way. Like, no, they and he's in this nutty professor fat suit. So it looks so weird. And Tom Hanks is like he's the other lead of the movie. But Austin Butler does so good. And the film is so interesting in the way it's pieced together musically that it's still great. Like I highly recommend it. But the Tom Hanks thing will take you out. And I feel like that's so weird because the next Tom Hanks movie, I think, comes out in like a week. He's doing Geppetto and Pinocchio. He's like, my little boy Geppetto. It's like, is this the weird accent phase of Tom Hanks's career?
I need to watch it now. I really need to watch it just to like see what everyone's talking about.
You've got to watch it. And I have a feeling 80% of you is going to love it.
Have you ever watched Ambulance, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
By Michael Bay? I haven't. Is it good?
I've been watching it like in between naps today. And yeah, pretty good. I think next on my list is going to be Elvis then.
Wait, when you fall asleep during an intense movie like Ambulance, do you then put that intensity into your dream?
You know what's weird? Because I was on vacation and part of like my vacation regimen and my entire family is like beach or pool, shower, long nap before dinner. Like we're big nappers in my family. My napping dreams are like so intense. And then when I sleep at night, it's just like nothing. Head empty, no thoughts. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if anyone else is like this. If you are, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, guys, smash that like button and leave a comment. How messed up are your dreams?
Yeah.
No, I get scared though because my dream, like I started taking melatonin like a year or two ago, and those intensify your dreams. But now sometimes I don't take melatonin, and I still have melatonin dreams. Like if that makes sense. Like it's like now when I go to. As you get older, I'm like, oh, great. Now for the rest of my life, I have to go to sleep and be scared of like who I bump into in my dreams. It's always like 30 people from my past. I'm at my high school, but I'm my age now.
Sad. Like I always wake up when I have a dream about someone from my past that I haven't like spoken to in a while. I'm like, oh my God, that's sad. What's my mind trying to tell me?
Yeah. I mean, truly, what is my mind trying to tell me? Wait, Sophie, and I don't know if this is a question for your boyfriend as well, just in terms of how threatened he feels. Leo DiCaprio did break up with Camilla Morrone, who supposedly is a good actor herself, 25 years young, you guys. is your boyfriend threatened at all now that Leo is back out on the scene?
Oh my God, I'm way too old for him. What do you
But
mean?
you could get a fake ID and be like 23. If Leo asked to check your ID, we give you a fake that says 23, you're in the game.
Okay, I'm gonna be a realist here. I'm no supermodel.
Wow. What if
I
he's a
know
fan of
that.
your
I
writing?
know I
What
kind
if
of
he's a
like.
fan of your Substack?
What if he's just like a fan of my personality? Like, I know it's a common misconception that I do model on the side,
It is
but
it is something that confuses a lot of people. Yeah.
he also like someone put like a pic stitch together of like all of his ex-girlfriends, and they're literally they all have the same shade of like blonde highlights, like really
Same boob size too. Have you noticed that?
yeah, like big boobs, tan skin, like blonde highlights, like kind of like a little bit ambiguous looking. Like some of them are Brazilian, some of them are Dutch. Like they're all just like really like just gorgeous supermodel. Like, of
Yeah.
course, but like they all look the same.
Like that's what I'm saying. I imagine like the Victoria's Secret like email that goes out to the models this week of like, be on high alert. Leo's out there. He's going to be looking. So just be on your bet. Don't overeat this Labor Day, girls. What do you think? What do you think, Leo? Like being that powerful in this like movie star life so long, do you think he gives a shit that we all make fun of him for this at all?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I was trying to think what he thinks.
I really feel like he doubts it. I think the thing that probably does bother him that people make fun of is the fact that he's like an environmental activist who takes a private plane, a private jet to the grocery store. Like people are like, you're a fucking hypocrite. I'm sorry. I understand that celebrities get like flooded. And like, if I were rich, I would want to fly private too. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can wear, if Leo wore like a hat and like glasses and like he won't even have to wear an elaborate disguise. I don't think people would be like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like fly commercial like the rest of us, especially if you're an environmental activist. So
well,
yeah,
during Titanic, I would have gotten it. Like when he at the height of like that,
yeah.
the height of his insane fame.
Now he's he's 50 pounds heavier than he was then. He's kind of
Not even he's just a guy like he's just getting older. Like
he's just a guy now. Like he is obviously like Leo DiCaprio, very good looking, like by any person's standard.
Very talented actor.
But he is a little rough around the edges now. That's okay. We love him for it. And yeah, I think he could probably fly commercial and not have to worry. The Kardashians, I understand because their body shape is hard to disguise.
Fit on a plane? Oh.
But I don't think, and hard to fit on a plane. I don't think they would like want to not be recognized. Like they love being flooded by fans. And I'm sure that's the excuse they use. But yeah, I think all of these celebrities that exclusively fly private and then have the gonads to talk about the environment, like shut up. Just like if you're gonna fly private everywhere, don't act like you care about the environment or care about people because you don't.
Also, Leo, a good way to meet like new up and coming young girls is flying commercial. Like you're not going to let me like flying private. You're not going there's no chance to meet young girls. Like if you fly like American Airlines on a Sunday, you're going to meet like a younger girl in that airplane area.
Totally meet some hotties on a plane through security. Yeah.
Also Taylor Swift, you guys, announced her new album called Midnights. She announced it at the MTV. Were those the music awards, movie? I don't know. MTV had some award show. Taylor won an award and announced her new album Midnights, which is not a re-recording of an old album. It's an all new album that will be coming out in like a month or something like that. Like,
yeah, it's October. What is it? October 21st. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm fully like, I just signed up for the Swifties, the Swift Army, but I mean, I don't know anybody that does promotion better. Like still classy, still gets everybody excited. Like even the one picture she posted got over like 1 million likes. Like it was like the most liked picture on Twitter last week. I mean, it's just, she seems like she does everything so right and thought out, but it still feels genuine.
Yeah, no, exactly. She is a marketing genius and a branding genius. And yeah,
but I feel like she likes to do it too. I feel like she likes the work.
Oh, she does. She could retire now. She has nothing left to prove. She has like how many successful studio albums? Like I don't even
30,
know how many at this
30.
point. So it's like, yeah, she could retire now, but she
Yeah.
loves what she does and people love her for it. And yeah, keep going, Taylor. I need that serotonin boost for
Dude,
new
you better,
album.
I want to fucking weep. You better make me weep this holiday season, Taylor. I want to cry like a baby. Speaking of back to Leo real quick, he used to date Giselle Bundchen, and this is a sports story, kind of. But Tom Brady, I don't know if you know him. He's a football player, Sophie, and he missed some of this training camp supposedly because him and Giselle Bundchen got in a fight, and he came back and he's like, "Listen, folks, I'm 45. Shit happens." But supposedly he's in a fight with Giselle for like not retiring.
Okay, I believe it. And speaking of Leo, Giselle and Leo used to date. But I believe it because yeah, I'm sure it's freaking frustrating. Tom Brady is like the most psychotic person in sports. Like, and I was actually talking to my boyfriend about it. He was like, "Well, what's the big deal? It's only for like part of the year." But it's like if you take training camp and all of like the preparation that Tom Brady does and how he probably goes to like the stadium at 3 a.m. and comes home at like midnight.
He's obsessed.
He's obsessed. Like, yeah, it's understandable that out of 6 months of the year, him literally not being around at all would be frustrating. And for her to get her hopes up that he was retiring, and then he's like, psych, actually, I'm back. He's like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Well, Sophie, that was because they made the announcement that he was retiring. Then he spent a couple months with his family, and he was like, I do not like this. This was not fun for me, you know?
Exactly. So I can understand why that would be frustrating. And honestly, I believe it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up separating, but it's like, I don't know. I think that he really is at the point where he needs to choose between football and family. And he's what, 45 years old. Like I think Giselle has been hoping for a long time. He's accomplished everything, like Taylor Swift.
Yes.
He's accomplished everything there is to accomplish. Like when he was on the Patriots, no, we're talking football, bro.
Guys, Patriots, if you don't know, that's another football team that Tom used to be a part of.
Yeah, so like a lot of people, he won, I don't know, 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, and some people it was like, was it Bill Belichick, the coach, or was it Tom Brady? Is Tom Brady just a system quarterback, meaning you can plug and play whatever quarterback in and they would win in the system? And Tom Brady was like, no, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. Went to the Buccaneers in his first season there, won a Super Bowl with them. Like he could have retired at that moment and people would have been like, yeah, greatest of all time. Like he has nothing left to prove. And yet here he is. Like if I were him and I were rich and had accomplished everything there is to accomplish, I'd be like, bye, I'm going to go be rich and relax. I'll never understand people that like just keep working when they don't have to. Like,
but that's when you see it's a real sickness. Like it's like that athletes have a lot in common with artists in that way, where there's like this mentality there that it just tunnel vision and it does not matter. People don't matter. Family don't matter. It's like, it's just that it's all consuming, you know?
This is what I think Tom Brady and Taylor Swift have that in common. Like, I think they're both psychotic about what they do and good for them. That's what's like helped made them so successful in their
But at the same time, you can't have everything. You see that Tom might ruin his whole family for it. Okay. As we start winding down here, did you get to see the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer for season 3 this week?
Oh my God, it looks amazing. And I love like the opera music they do at the end.
Okay. Why do you think Heather has that black eye? Heather Gay.
Was it Jen Shaw? That's immediately, we don't know yet, but that's immediately where my mind went, that Jen punched her.
Somebody wrote on a comment that
he can't have another like legal situation. So we're just going to like keep it hush hush. But
see, I've always been under the impression that Jen's kind of like a pussy in the sense of like she barks a lot, but like, you know, you would like hit her with one hit and like knock her out. But I heard somebody said this in a comment that said like, you know, Heather does that beauty lab and laser. She said it looked like a botched like eye filler or something maybe, which kind of would maybe make sense. Like a bad filler or something like that. Like you know, like sometimes like you bruise from a needle, maybe.
I mean, not like that. Like I've gotten that before, and no, that's
okay.
scream. Like, it's normal to have a little bit of bruising, some swelling, whatever, but like for it to literally be a black eye only on one side, like that's weird. What did she say in the trailer again? Like, didn't she allude to the fact that someone hit her?
She just said, like, did somebody hit you? Like, yeah, maybe. It was like something, it was like very, and then
Yeah, like, so it could be like a, complete clickbait from the producers, but like I choose to believe that yes, she got punched.
and then at the end we see kind of Heather push Whitney aside to like, and when it's like, ow, ooh, ow, you pushed me like against the wall. I found it interesting, and I'm so curious legally, like, because she did plead guilty in the season 3 trailer. She's like, it's this Stuart Smith. This wouldn't be happening if Stuart didn't set me up. Like, is Bravo allowed? I mean, once somebody pleads guilty, are you allowed to put all this information out there pointing fingers at this other person once you've pled guilty?
Stuart, like, shut up, liar.
I mean, like at this point, Stuart already pled, and went against you. So that's my always thing of like, how much of this season is going to be about Jen saying she's innocent until the very last episode when she pleads guilty?
I'm curious. The trailer like very much got me invested after like what I thought was a lackluster last season.
I did too. For what should have been the best season of all time for what they had happened.
Right. I think that I'm not missing Mary Cosby. I'm going to be honest. I'm not missing her in the trailer. I am fine. I feel like that was like a whole other thing.
Because you're arguing with somebody that's not even in the same conversation that you're in.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, like, it's funny for a second.
She's not operating in the same like universe as anyone else. So I think that these 5 plus the few friends of,
dude, that one girl that told Jen, like, you better be nice to me because I won't put money on your books in prison.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was so epic. I loved that. I'm excited for her, whoever she is. Yeah.
And also the rumor that gets brought up that Lisa Barlow is giving allegedly sexual favors to put in Vita tequila in bars. Like, listen, I used to run a bar and like I got free tickets to a Lakers game once with Red Bull, but like that is the most ridiculous rumor. Like some of these rumors, like, come on, like it's so embarrassing that this shit even makes it to TV, I would imagine.
Did you see that Lisa Barlow replied to me on Twitter?
No, what'd she say?
Oh my God, I need to find it.
Yes.
Hold on.
You say, will you sleep with me if I put Vita tequila in my room?
I'll read it to you. I said, if Lisa Barlow has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If Lisa Barlow has 10 fans, I am one of them. If Lisa Barlow has only 1 fan, that is me. If Lisa Barlow has no fans, that means I've left this plane of existence. If the world is against Lisa Barlow, I am against the world. And she goes, it's you and me, Sophie. I love her. I
think she's going to have a great season.
I will defend her till the day I die.
But I don't think you need to defend. I think she's going to have a great season because I think these rumors are so outlandish, and it's probably all from Jen Shah. Because did you see that bullshit Jen Shah was posting on her stories? Like, she wasn't naming Lisa, but she was trying to say this person called my son this and this and this. And it's like, once again, Jen Shah's whole narrative is to distract. It's distract, throw attention elsewhere instead of ever owning up for shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tactic when these women are in legal drama, like Erika Jayne. It's always deflecting. It's always someone else. So yeah, that's going to be annoying watching her deflect and lie on camera. That's going to be frustrating.
But it might be kind of funny because we know the actual truth in the long run, maybe, since we do. I guess I'm more worried for the people that don't pay attention like we do, that they actually just believe whatever comes out of Jen's mouth. But it might be fun for us to watch, knowing that every time she opens her mouth, it's a lie and we know it for sure, you know?
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Real quick, speaking of, you mentioned Erika Jayne. They are filming the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion this week. I also want to tell everybody's like, oh, Lisa got fired and all that. I think, maybe that will happen. But remember, I don't think these things happen before they film a reunion, or they wouldn't really show up to the reunion. But they filmed this week. So I'm saying I do think that she could be not renewed, but just remember, don't go like insane with hearing rumors and all that, because they do have to film a 4-part reunion still. And that would not be wise of them to like do that, because Lisa would just not show up. I know they get paid and all of that stuff, but still, it's just ridiculous. Did you watch this week's episode I mean, supposedly the Kathy Hilton Aspen stuff were here, and I'm not even like, Kathy's just making funny comments in a corner so far, and I'm just livid because like Diana's over here like saying like Sutton's a see you next Tuesday. And once again, it's like where I feel like the audience and the women on the screen, we are at a complete disconnect where they think they're like killing it and that Sutton's this horrible person when they just look like jackasses.
That was so frustrating to watch.
It really was.
Like, it's just, I just can't with the very obvious hypocrisy. Like, don't act like you stand for anything. Like,
yeah,
Kyle,
I stand for love. I am for love. How are you for love
like,
if you're laughing
Kyle
after you call?
I can't take like the lies. Like, what do you? You're friends with Erica Jane and Lisa Rinna. Like,
you're used to the lies. That's all there is.
I really can't with the hypocrisy and the bullying, and it's like not even enjoyable to watch this season.
I finally this past week got to that point. Sophie, you've always said that, but this week, I mean, I did a huge because I just got so frustrated. But I was like, this isn't like this is gross. Like they're all like Sutton's literally quiet in a corner, her head down. She's like not cowering, but she's so making herself so small. And like Diana's acting like she's on like Def Comedy Jam, like she just did a mic drop moment, and everybody's like, woo. And then Kyle only stands up for Sutton after everybody leaves or in a talking head. It's like the biggest bullshit ever. And then Garcelle, I finally figured it out. This is Erica Jane. Garcelle is the person Erica Jane wishes she was. Garcelle is funnier than Erica. Garcelle makes her own money. Garcelle, like these are all the things that Erica thinks and wishes she was. And I think that's another frustrating element. That's why Erica hates Garcelle.
Yeah, and she's a fan favorite. I think a lot of it is probably rooted in jealousy. So, yeah. And it's
I hate to bring
I think that we've gotten to the point with the audience just like truly being fed up where production has no choice but to make changes. Like that's just the truth. They cannot do the same cast next year. Like I really think ratings for Beverly Hills are always, reliably good, but I think they would definitely go down next year if it was the same cast, even without Diana. I think they really need to do a shakeup.
Now this I mean, I think their shakeup is coming actually, but I do want to bring this up just since we're talking about Garcelle. And so people don't think I'm being ignorant or playing favorites. Garcelle Bouvet's son, Oliver Sanders, who we have met on the show, his wife accuses him of cheating and posted multiple DMs. I think got on his account and just started posting DMs from women that he had hooked up with. He works at Vanderpump, one of the Vanderpump Vegas restaurants. And so it looks like he has been with a lot of different women and he's using his DMs and Instagram in a very bad, destructive way. And also they have him on camera going on a date with Raquel Leviss from Vanderpump Rules, who had just allegedly made out with Tom Schwartz at Sheena's wedding the week before. And we also had at Pump, Garcelle filming with Lisa Vanderpump. And this is for Vanderpump Rules, you guys. Everybody's saying it's for Beverly Hills. It's not. This will be on an episode of Vanderpump Rules. And also the Raquel Oliver date will be on that as well. But all of this blew up on Friday where Oliver's wife posted all of this stuff. Oliver then went on and said, we are divorcing. Sorry about the drama. Did you see all this stuff?
Yes, this is messy. This is going to be interesting. I am very curious to see how it all plays out.
But Garcelle, too, think about if you guys remember Garcelle's divorce from Mike Nylon, it was because he was cheating on her. And Garcelle sent every person in Mike Nylon's contacts a email saying, Mike Nylon cheated on me. It's like an infamous thing that she did years and years ago. So I can't imagine. I mean, Garcelle must have smacked the shit out of Oliver. Well, I mean, I'm so curious because I know she, especially when it comes to cheating allegations, does not have a soft spot in her heart for that, even if it's her son. So I'm really curious what Garcelle would have to say about this,
I know. I'm very curious. And Garcelle and Lisa Vanderpump were filmed, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were at Pump filming. And then I was like, everybody was all excited. But then those rumors came out later that day. And I was like, are they filming about Oliver? And then they did that night. Oliver and Raquel went on a date. So I'm so curious and also it just, some of that stuff then with the Raquel's, it kind of reeks almost of I don't know. There's something fake to me about it. It's guys, don't push too hard. And like Raquel all of a sudden is seeming like the opposite of the Raquel we've known for the last, like Raquel's now making out with just everybody, which is that's fine. Guys do that all the time.
I am gonna love Raquel's single era. I'm excited for it.
I know, but I'm just saying it just seems so out of her element.
Oliver cheating on his wife, because great, but like overall, very excited for Raquel's single era.
It looks like she is having a hell of a single era,
so the Tom Schwartz and Raquel stuff is true, right?
Yeah, I mean from what I heard, it is true. But I think it was more of like a dare kind of a thing, a drunken dare, from what I had heard. So I don't know. I don't think it's something that is going to be lasting. I don't think it lasts past what happened there, but I do know that Katie, as I would be, very upset about it. Even if you're divorced with somebody, to me, that's like, oh man, because that rumor's been going around for so long now. When it finally happens, and I mean, this whole season seems like they're just going to be arguing about their divorce. Like, once again, it's going to be miserable for them.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm still going to watch every second of it.
Oh, hell yeah. And finally, actually, we get the Potomac, supposedly the Potomac season trailer today, Tuesday. We get that today, supposedly. So I'm sure that'll be exciting. We'll talk about that later this week. Also, shout out to Sheree Whitfield from Real Housewives of Atlanta. They had their season finale last night of this season, and She by Sheree had its fashion show. There were 25 pieces. It actually it was a really great episode. Apollo, Phaedra's ex, was in it, walking the runway. I don't know. There was something that gave me a really good feeling. Unfortunately, these good feelings only last for so long, because we woke up to the news today that she is charging $180 for pretty much Shine. Is that what SHEIN? Shein?
Yeah, people found that they were like actually Shein or Alibaba, like Amazon shit that you can basically order to have like a logo on it. So it's not like it was like designed.
That's quite a markup, $180. If you, I mean, like, I'm glad I'm still proud of her. I'm still proud of her.
It's bad for her.
But at least I mean, we've been making fun of her for 14 years. I feel like she could have come up with a better way, but I guess at least she did it. So for one night, she was like the belle of the fashion world, and now it's back to reality. That's it, you guys. So have a great week. I'm sure it's going to be just as, by the way, Selling the OC, you guys watch it. I know you haven't started it yet, but it is so,
I haven't started it yet.
Dude, I'm telling you, within 10 minutes, you're going to love it way more than you ever even liked Selling Sunset. And we're recapping it over on the Patreon. So go over there. It's really good. Sophie, in the next 2 weeks, I think you're starting back up So True with Sophie Ross, which you can subscribe to on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all the podcast outlets. Also the Substack. Do you know what you're going to be writing about this week?
No, I don't yet. I am going to see what happens drama-wise, but it should be exciting because it always is. I always have something up my sleeve.
Hey, will you post that Greg Grippo photo and tag him in your stories? Like, hey, Greg, sorry we didn't get to say hi.
Maybe I should just be like, I'm watching you.
Okay, you guys, I hope you had a great Labor Day. And does this mean summer's over, or do we have more summer? Or is it done now?
No, it's done.
It's done. That Labor Day is done.
Fall. Well, technically the first day of fall is like what, like September 21st or something? I don't know.
Is that what it is?
But fall is my favorite season. I am happiest during the fall. So yeah, bring on fall, please.
Get ready for Happy Sophie era. Okay, you guys, we'll talk to you later this week. Bye.
Bye.